All right, I saw this video and it's been recommended to me like 500 times and now I have to watch it, okay? I'm sorry. All right, and you guys have to watch it with me. Who killed masculinity in video games? We have to watch it, guys.
Who killed masculinity in video games? I'll tell you who killed it. Blizzard. Oh my god.
Does anybody else feel like masculinity
What?
has slowly been drained from modern video games?
Yeah,
I was looking at recent stats.
Listen, there's a lot of things to hate Blizzard for. I don't know if their murdering of masculinity is what caused the video game industry to change. I don't understand. Okay. I don't understand, but sure, man. Let's go. We're gonna learn from this, okay? We're gonna learn from this. Asmon's subreddit was doing 1350 racism the other day. Okay, I'm not surprised at all.
Photos of Ubisoft and Halo Infinite developers, and it's all starting to make sense. It's a bunch of fat white liberal women, and white liberal women have no interest in masculine, manly male characters.
Are these women supposed to be fat? Are these women? These are just normal looking women? I don't understand.
They wouldn't even know how to write one if they tried. This is why Rockstar, a company founded by men that at least in 2018 was still mostly run by men.
I have a good counterpoint to this, is that Shadowbringers was written by a woman. So I actually don't think that it's entirely because of, it's not entirely because of women. I think it's like a cultural thing. Yeah, from so.
Sorry. We're gonna compose ourselves. We're gonna compose ourselves and we're gonna 1 second. I don't think it's entirely because of women. Oh my god, okay, wait, just 1 second, just 1 second. It's not funny, it's not funny. I'm so glad we've got this unbiased reporting. Let's continue.
Buffer as well. Yeah, it's an exception. It is an exception. I think so. And it makes sense, right? That men would be able to write better stories for other men. Yeah. Wow. What? Who could have thought?
And created the magnum opus Red Dead Redemption 2. A game with a manly, well-written main protagonist, Arthur Morgan. If you want to see the seismic...
So can I just say something really quickly about the talking point? It makes sense that men would make better games and better stories for other men was not a talking point that I ever saw when the left talked about having more diversity in the workforce. So I agree with the sentiment. The problem is that he didn't agree with his sentiment a few years ago when women and people of color and whatever said, hey, we should have more diversity in the workplace because the way that the stories are told, which stories are chosen to be told, are impacted by the diversity of the people that make these games. And Asmongold and the type of people like Asmongold responded to that saying, no, we don't need DEI hires. Men can write the stories just fine, is like the gist of it. It's an oversimplification, albeit. But sure, man. Sure, man. Oh my god. I'm genuinely out of the loop. Was Asmon always like this, or was this a recent development? I mean, I think on some level he was always like this, but I think he's gotten he's gotten way more emboldened over the years because he recognizes how much people want to hear someone who legitimizes their views that things are bad, not because things are bad, but because women are in charge.
I hate using this
shift
example,
away
would
from
Harry Potter have been better if it was written by a man? It would be better if it wasn't written by a racist TERF, but the gender doesn't matter.
Masculine characters. Honestly, all you need to do is play a few games from 2006, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Gears of War.
Consider how many masculine military games came out in the 2000s.
Absolutely.
Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Brothers in Arms, Gears of War, Operation Flashpoint, Rainbow
This
Six.
is what it was all about, bro. Like, we had, like, I feel like a lot of y'all probably played at least 2 or 3 of these, right? Yeah.
Man, it must be really sad to be a man because the only thing you can relate to is like going and dying in war, I guess. Wow. I can't imagine having one hobby. That's kind of lame, low-key. Damn, sucks to suck, I guess. No, let's actually talk about 2 things. One, tastes change, and genres over time will like change. I don't know. I'll explain in a little bit more detail what I mean, but we'll get to that point. Second of all, market segments change. At the end of the day, everything goes back to companies want to make money. That's it. It's pretty simple. Companies want to make money. They will do whatever they can to make money. It's very, very simple. Corporations, video game corporations, realize that they can also market their games to women by making them not all the time about war and making them about other things and making them a little fruity. And women started buying the games, and they realized they could get more money by also marketing to women. It's not that complicated. It's pretty straightforward. You see a market segment available to you, an untapped market segment. You are going to try and get that market segment because it's just more money. This isn't any type of idpol whatever. Like this guy, for example, great account here. Maybe reality and nature exist. Ever thought about that, you liberal? You're a liberal. Just stay quiet and dye your hair. Dude, 2010 called. They wanted their jokes back, man. You got any new material? Come on, big dog. You gotta got something else, man. Oh, come on. Dye your hair, liberal. Oh God. Next, you're gonna ask me about my pronouns or some shit. Oh, man. Woo. Ooh. Eesh. Boo, get off the stage. More importantly, you're not even white, LOL. Is this supposed to be an insult? Or is this like supposed to be an epic own? Or I don't I don't. Do you know what you were trying to do with that? Because you kind of weren't cooking anything. I'm gonna be honest with you. You were straight cooking nothing, to be honest, guys. I don't understand. I don't know. Moving on. These people, unfortunately, people like this, chatters like this, people with this mindset, they don't understand that facts don't care about their feelings. And the facts are that corporations exist to make money. And even your favorite video game corporation exists to make money. Every single one of them exists to make money. It's very rare that we get a studio that doesn't exist exclusively just to make money. That's why loot boxes are so prevalent. That's why microtransactions are so prevalent. That's why games get pushed out that are dog shit and then they fucking patch them in. They patch in the fixes later. That's why DLCs are so expensive, even though they are part of what should have been in the original game. It's just that corporations don't really give a fuck about anything except making money. And most corporations are led by people who only are trying to make more money to improve their shareholders' positions. And the reality is, marketing to women is a free, it's free money, dude. It's free real estate. It just is, man. It just is free real estate. And I'm sorry that you're not the only person that games are marketed to anymore, but like, you can take that up with capitalism, man. Like, that's not... There's nothing more complicated than that. Still not white, noob. Oh, I don't burn when I go in the sun. How will I ever recover? I don't need to wear sunscreen. Oh, God. Oh, no, that's terrible. Oh, man. Wow. Awful. Ugh. You like good tasting food isn't the sick burn that you think it is, chatter. Oh, I can handle more than salt and pepper. Oh, I've been so owned. Oh, how will I ever recover? Oh, fuck. Oh, man. Oh, geez. I turn on my webcam and I don't immediately blend in with the white background, how will I ever recover? Oh, geez. Fuck, man. You got me. You owned me epically. Shit. This guy has 3 preset dialogue options. Diversity in video games has been demonstrated by Valve to great success with little manufactured hate. No one wants to admit that they've been conned into fake outrage. Oh, 100%. FZ Crew, you are totally correct. Thank you for the 2 months. Anyways, a man. NPC type ass. All right. Oh, and then the other thing is trends. Trends change over time. So, maybe with advertising, I can best explain this. There was a period of time in American advertising where all they did was use sex to sell, but then the market becomes so saturated that they have to move on to other things because the advertising doesn't work. You guys remember the Carl's Jr. ads, I think everyone just thinks of the Carl's Jr. ads. That's the ones that I think of, to be honest with you. But it was like every product, they found a way to have a sexy lady sell it. Hardee's was another one. And they just used that to sell everything. Pepsi, GoDaddy, Axe commercials. Oh my God, yeah. So using sex to sell anything on TV, it was just all over the place. And then eventually advertisers realized their advertisements aren't hitting anymore the same way that they were because that market or that genre became too oversaturated. And then they switched over to like the very weird, absurdist type of advertisements. And then when that market became saturated, they started going back to sort of like normal type of ads. I think, what's his name? H Bomber guy. His video on this was really good. We're going to stun lock for a short period of time just to show you guys that video because it's a very good video that explains what I'm talking about very well. Don't worry, we're not going to watch the whole thing. And this is before he started making documentaries. Okay.
It really took off. Even as early as the 1800s, you couldn't read your paper for updates about the Fourth Anglo-Ashanti War without some little fucker telling you about his Bovril. Invaluable to invalids and weak persons. You can't say that. Some people think of advertisements as value neutral. It's just a piece of paper or some video footage conveniently letting you know about a thing that exists and what it does so you can make an informed decision about your potential purchase.
Sam, I don't have to cut myself to shave close. This is the Track 2, the two-bladed razor from Gillette. The blades are recessed, so it's safer.
Because as we know, humans are perfectly rational actors. After all, capitalism works because it's just in everyone's rational self-interest to make a really good product. No, wait, hang on, I forgot about human psychology. You can just trick people into buying things. Oops. It turns out that it's possible to convince people to do.
I'm only trying to show you guys that trends change and companies evolve. And companies that used to make only war games realized people weren't really interested in war games anymore, and they started making other types of games because that market became too saturated. Very similar to the way that companies advertise, which should be pointed out now.
Things they wouldn't do otherwise and probably shouldn't. Advertising is really a large collection of people trying to find the most effective way of getting you to give your money to their bosses to buy their thing. It's a massive and very lucrative
I think most of us understand how fads work. Yeah, but you know me.
The way this old cigarette commercial did. We're gonna get ya. One of the most effective ways to sell a product is to tie it to someone's sense of value or their goals. Owning this product will prove you're a successful person. This product will make you irresistible to women we made up. Maybe if you ate at a fast food restaurant more, your children would love you, you piece of shit. But the problem is, this doesn't work forever. Advertising has become more and more ubiquitous, and audiences stop paying attention to commercials when they're a lot like ones they've seen thousands of times before. You have to push these ideas harder and harder for them to work. Over time, commercials became more and more brazen in associating their products with power and sex, until it became so weird it's almost indistinguishable from a joke. Take this classic Big Mac poster where the burger's on a red velvet bed and it says, "Stop staring at me like I'm some piece of meat. Are you Mac enough? Like man enough? Like, are you enough of a masculine, manly man to get into bed with this burger and just go to town with your mouth. But you are a piece of meat. Oh, I'm supposed to fuck this burger. By this point, advertisers had drilled so far down into the human id that it'd gone too far, broken through all pre-existing Freudian evopsych theories and entered directly into the darkness of the human mind more, to the place where you're paying a supermodel to pretend to eat a burger in her bikini at the beach because maybe horny viewers will want to do a sex so badly they'll get hungry for a teriyaki burger. God, that burger is definitely covered in sand at this point. It would probably improve the flavor, though. I love that the camera keeps cutting away before any of it ever goes in her mouth, because it's basically poison. No, don't eat the pineapple, it's evil, don't! So it was clear to advertisers that a new strategy was required. Sex might sell, but it doesn't stand out amongst a crowd of sex. If you want people to pay attention, you have to do something truly different.
Copyright avoidance activate.
A commercial for Apple earphones is incredibly memorable, even a decade later. It's probably in the top 3 most well-known pieces of video footage ever to grace our little aisles, just behind the old Smash commercials and the bit where Del Boy falls through the bar. It's so weird and devoid of anything you'd expect from an ad that it grabs your attention in a completely new way. It's so memorable, except of course for the part where it wasn't a commercial for earphones. I made that up. It was for Cadbury's chocolate, you gormless rube.
Was it actually? Wow, I've watched this video like 4 times and I forget every time. It's like he actually beats the shit out of me with this video every time. Mr. Thank you so much for the 18 months.
The last decade of marketing school graduates are people who saw commercials like this and the power and memorability they had and went, yeah, I can do that exactly like that. I'm gonna be weird too. But the problem with everyone trying to be weird and different and stand out all at the same time is they kind of all stopped standing out, like, immediately. So tons of commercials nowadays are just super out there and bizarre and have nothing to do with the product, but you still don't really notice or care because you're already attuned to it. Nowadays, the only ads that stand out are like the ones that are just so bad that you remember them to make fun of them. Let's do that now! Remember the Schick Hydrobot?
Hydrobot, at it again!
Who you remember specifically because it's a really awkward and terrible way of promoting anything?
Oh, God. Anyways, my point is that H. Bomber Guy sort of talks about viewer attention, market attention on things, and maybe the first advertisement where you're using a sexy lady to sell a product stands out, but in a sea of sex, sex no longer stands out. And then in a sea of weird, the weird doesn't really stand out anymore. In the same sort of vein, when every fucking gaming company, when every fucking video game company is making a war game that looks exactly like the other one, they stop standing out from each other. And when the video games stop standing out from each other and people aren't really buying it because they're kind of bored of war games and war games and war games, they start blending into each other and people get bored and then they move on. And video game companies realize that and they start making new types of games. That's it. It's very simple. Also, half the games on the screen still exist. I mean, yeah, this is like the person making the original video is obviously doing one of those like, we must return, but we're not. What are we returning to? To current times? Huh? What? That's bizarre. Also, you got to split all your sales with your competition now. Photo of Halo Infinity developer team, by the way, was not even true. Majority of dev team was like men. The picture used was only showing women that worked at Halo Infinity to feed the narrative. The same reason the game was being bad, but Asmongold stated up. I mean, yeah, of course. That shit's always true. It's always like rage bait, but moving on.
It's an amazing experience. Absolutely.
6. Ghost Recon, Splinter Cell. All of these games were starring men and had themes like brotherhood, duty, sacrifice, honor.
So the reason why Tyrion Forgering left the Silver Hand and was in exile is because whenever he was in captivity, he made a pact with an orc named Etrig. And whenever Etrig was captured during the burning of Strathlome, Tyrion helped him escape, and they escaped together because his bond and his loyalty to a man who had helped him escape and be, be free, I guess, was more important than any sort of organization at all. The honor of it was more important than the organization, and Tyrion chose that over it. Brothers in arms.
To be clear, I am not putting my face in my hand because I am cringing at Asmongold. I'm doing it because I just had a mirror held up to me. And it made me depressed. That's why I did that. Okay? And I was embarrassed at the person that I was.
Yeah, exactly. So it's propaganda for war. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way Blizzard used to be.
Almost all of these franchises have either been killed off, turned into multiplayer games, or went woke. I often wonder why so few modern games appeal to me. And I think another big reason is this. Everything is just so gay now. Compare the games just mentioned to the modern trash we have to deal with in Overwatch and Apex. Almost every character...
they made all my video games gay. Ugh, can you believe it? Ugh. You see Asmon in his team attack Blizzard because the new NPC character is black / brown elf that's inside Azeroth. Everyone knows elves can only be white. Okay? Duh. The fictional creatures that don't exist, they've always been white and they should always be white. Obviously.
In these new games is either gay, lesbian, bisexual, trans, or something else.
I think this is an issue, but it's not probably as big of an issue. What is an issue is the fact that they try to like...
It's an issue, guys. It's an issue. It's just not that big of an issue.
Ride off of it. Like, for example, like with Concord or like with Overwatch, I think that's the issue, is that in a lot of times they had characters that were gay or they had some sort of other type of orientation, but they didn't use those characters as a mascot to virtue signal that they care about these types of issues. I think the problem that people really have.
There is like, I won't lie, kind of like zoo animals. I really do enjoy the type of people that Asmongold embodies, because it's such an amusing level of entitlement that you think every type of video game is supposed to be made for you. It's like, can you believe they put gay people in this game and don't they know that I don't like it when they do that? It's like, whoa. You ever like show up to a buffet and you're like, why did you guys put salmon? I don't like salmon. See, this is why buffets are going out of business nowadays. It's just amazing. It's like, it's like so not self-aware that it's like almost incredible to watch.
Is actually not with any character's orientation.
So
I don't think anybody really cares about this character because he's gonna be talking about this, and I guarantee you're not going to be seeing a slide of Dion from Final Fantasy 16. You're not going to see that. No, you know why? It's because the character wasn't created in a cynical, performative way. And also, like, this is another big issue, and I think you can see this with Suicide Squad.
I still haven't seen Suicide Squad, but I'll give you guys my rating. It'll probably be bad, but that's because I rate a lot of things as bad. This is the most controversial part of my stream, which is that I'm pretty harsh when it comes to rating movies and TV shows and whatever. But moving on. Or is he talking about Suicide Squad, the game? I didn't play this game. Did it come out yet? I mean, any game that's based off of, like, I don't know. I feel like most of these games kind of suck dick. I played, a friend of mine convinced me, and I very foolishly decided to go along with it. Gotham Knights, I think. This game was so boring. Oh my God. I cannot believe I wasted my money on this game. Most superhero games are not that good. I think I've heard that people said that Arkham Knight was good, but most of them are not good. I've played them before. It has nothing to do with it being a woman lead. Okay? You know what a great example of a woman lead game that was really good? Mirror's Edge. That's a fun game.
Is that they completely caricature people that are LGBT. It's not like this character is LGBT and this is like an after the fact.
I remember why I paused it. This is another common buzzword that people use, which is that these games and these game developers, they put in diversity, but it's like forced diversity. And what was the words that he used? What were the words he used?
And also, like, this is another big issue, and I think you can see this with Suicide Squad, is that they completely caricature people that are LGBT.
No.
Of Dion from Final Fantasy 16. You're not going to see that. No, you know why? It's because the character wasn't created in a cynical, performative way.
They never explain I have yet to see one good explanation of how some of these queer characters are performative. How these characters are like caricatures, or how they're performative, or how it's forced diversity. Because I think any sane person sees these examples and they say, no, they just put like a gay person in the game. Scalucial, thank you for the tier 1.
And also, like, this is another big issue, and I think you can see this with Suicide Squad, is that they completely caricature people that are LGBT. It's not like this character is LGBT and this is like an after the fact, like Soldier.
What's this? What do you mean a lot of characters are over the top to stand out? First of all, can you list me a couple characters? Second of all, isn't that kind of true of like the characters that aren't gay? Like Reinhardt, I think, is like a good example. Is Reinhardt not an over the top type of character? The dude's like a straight cis white dude. It's a video game, and the characters, the playable characters, are going to be over the top, right? Like Joker and Harlequin are both over the top characters. I don't understand this weird policy or whatever that like the gay characters all have to be boring. Yeah, that's what I mean. Oh, okay, got it.
76 I thought was good. It's like, yeah, by the way, he's gay. Okay, yeah, fine. Doesn't really have anything to do with it, but yeah, sure. But like, the issue is that they try to use these characters as mascots to promote their own virtue. And I think that a lot of people can perceive that. I know that I perceive that. And I find it to be incredibly obnoxious. So obnoxious.
Let's get the wording on that again. So he said Soldier 76 kind of just exists and he's gay and that's cool.
Virtue. And I think that they try to use these characters as mascots to promote their own virtue.
They use these characters as mascots to promote their own virtues? Well, first you're presupposing that that's a bad thing and that you don't like it in general, and that it never happens with the characters you like, which is incorrect. Second, what the fuck do you mean by that? Like, what virtues? That, like, being gay is swag? Like, that's just advertising. That's just marketing. I don't understand. Like, for example, war games, playing as a war hero, you are virtue signaling. You're virtue signaling that being a war hero is epic and sick and cool, and fighting in the military and getting fucking sick kills is based. You're promoting a certain ideal as a hero archetype. So it's not that you think that promoting virtues is bad. It's that you think that promoting virtues that you haven't seen before has to be bad.
Saying gay erasure out loud? Another classic Asmongold.
What about this? Do you understand? He's fine with gay characters. You just want to know that they're gay. Oh, okay. That makes sense.
And I think that a lot of people can perceive that. I know that I perceive that. And I find it to be incredibly obnoxious.
Also, yes, I think Trap, as usual, put it much better than I could. Isn't this just how media works? You use characters as vehicles for your beliefs a lot of the time? Yeah. Yeah. That's just how media works. Right?
So obnoxious.
And at the end of the day, as long as the game is good and I like playing it, I don't really care, I guess.
Obnoxious. I didn't even know that. Yeah, because nobody cares. Nobody actually cares.
Why?
Like, what happened to a masculine dude with a hot chick on his arm?
True.
I love the idea of Xbox Game Pass, but I swear every
Absolutely.
time I open it up and look for new games, There's just so many games that look gay now. I refuse to play another cutesy.
I like the
2D
idea that this guy's like mad that gay games exist. He's like, ugh. You know, I miss when games were only for me and people like me. Can you believe it? Now other people get games made for them. You know, I know for the longest time I was saying, stop trying to make my media gay. Go make your own shit. And then, guys, you'll never believe it. They started making their own shit. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ugh. So gross. I hate it so much.
platformer or a game with a cutesy art style by some indie developer anymore.
Oh, God.
I'm just done with these games.
Bro, this guy is fucking cooking.
What? He's mad that indie developers are making games they want to make? What's he cooking? What is he cooking? Can someone explain to me? What is... I guess Asmon's definition of cooking is like this video. Oh God, it's amazing. Anyways. Yeah, I don't what this is so wait, can you go back? I missed a step. Oh my bad. Yeah, I can go back. This is such a weird thing to get mad about. Indie developers are making games they want to make and you don't like what they're making? It's like going to art school and getting mad at what other people are drawing and being like, nobody wants to draw large boobies anymore. It's disgusting. Honestly. You're doing what you want to do. You're using your creative outlet to create what you want to. What about me, huh? What about what I want? You ever think about that? It's like, sir, do you hear yourself speaking? I just want to know if you hear what you're saying, man.
Oh man, he's right. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, to me, it's like, I do think that there's probably there is not enough games that are like Doom that are out there. Like games that are just like by guys, for guys, about.
I mean, again, this is something that people on the left have been talking about for ages. And the response we got every time was, then go make more games like that. So to you, I must say exactly what you said to us many years ago. If you don't think there are enough Doom-like games, first of all, Doom exists. It's literally out there. But if you don't think there are enough Doom copies, go make more Doom copies. Make more games that you like to see in the world. It's not that complicated. It's pretty straightforward, I guess. I don't understand.
Blowing shit up and like killing things. That's absolutely true. And it's like, you can have the cozy games too. Those are nice. They're fine. But where's Doom and, you know, like Duke Nukem and Helldivers, right? Like, Helldivers was the closest thing we got to that. And look at how much that popped off.
Okay. Girly pops in chat, you'll know what I mean. But this is like millennials that don't want to let skinny jeans go. It's like, girl, it's over. Put them down. It's over. Let them go. Let them go. Hey, wait, don't call me out like that. What the fuck? I get it. You're fantasizing about what used to be, but you must be unburdened by what has been. Okay?
People loved it.
If you want
Gears
my
of War?
100%
Yeah.
real thoughts on
Wait, what is this? Wait, someone said something important in chat. Oh, man. Where'd it go? That's okay.
this, I just think the entire video game industry has gone woke and gay, and almost nothing they are making appeals to me in any way anymore. So this is why I mostly play 20.
The best.
It's so funny. It's hilarious that this YouTuber can literally say, no modern games appeal to me. It has to be parody or like clickbait. It has to be, because it's just too absurd, right? Can you imagine if a woman got on YouTube and said, there are no games that appeal to me? When I look at video games, all I see are like muscly white dudes doing action shit, and that's it. Can you imagine the roast that she would get for saying that? It's hilarious that you can get on with absolutely no self-awareness and say, there's not enough shit for me.
Best part about this is he clearly cut the audio because he was clearly.
Isn't there like a college football game that's like a massive, isn't that not the most dude game, like an American game? Well, there's two types of gamers. There are, I would classify them as normal gamers and internet gamers. Normal gamers are the people who only play sports games, and then everybody else is in the other group. And as a non-sports gamer, I'm just gonna say we don't. I actually, this is really sad. I actually align myself more with losers, like the guy making the original video that's saying who killed masculinity in video games, than I do with sports gamers. Because when I talk to sports gamers, I'm like, I don't care. I am so sorry. Like, I literally do not care at all. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. Just why don't you just go play basketball? It's not the same. Okay, whatever. I just don't get it, I guess. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. I don't get
it. Going on a rant about this, and it's like, okay, cut. Let's just keep going. Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily about it being gay. I think it's about the performative nature of it. Because if you go back, you'll probably see a lot of instances where like diversity or, you know, a strong female character like Cortana is a great example. Like Cortana, nobody ever thought about Cortana as like, oh yeah, we have to have a woman in like the story for Halo. People just liked Cortana because she was part of the story. So the Tomb Raider, stuff like that, right? And so it's the issue that, and I think this is a big problem with Western developers, because you can see this, like Eastern developers never have this criticism. It's always.
it. Was his argument that people don't have a problem with Cortana because she's the sexy boob lady who's an NPC that just follows the main character around? I don't understand what the. See, we like women. It's just when they're really hot and they
I used to
only
be a sports gamer, and now I'm a nerd.
exist to compliment the
I
main
used
character.
to be cool, Dennis. It's your fault.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
It's Western developers. And I think that also, like, the reason why it happens is because people perceive the way that they behave as inauthentic. And I'll give you an example of a difference in like a Western development game. Baldur's Gate 3. You can change, you can have a dick, you cannot have a dick. You can have whatever you want and look however you want. You can have sex with any character and nobody ever cares about it because the game is seen as an authentic work of art. Whereas when you look at the Assassin's Creed game, it does not seem like it's authentic. It seems like it's performative. It seems like it's made with the intention of like, look at us.
Wait, but what's the difference? What makes one of them performative and the other one not performative? All you said was that when you look at Baldur's Gate, it feels authentic, but when you look at Assassin's Creed, it doesn't feel authentic. Wait, how does, what specifically is in these games that makes them different?
We are this like, you know, forward-thinking group of people. That's what the issue is, right? And you pick the experience. Yeah.
What? Assassin's Creed is woke because they think that they're forward-thinking people? I don't understand. Okay, like I'm down to talk about performative works of art, performative characters, etc. But I don't. It's not being explained how Assassin's Creed is performative versus Baldur's Gate 3. Why does Baldur's Gate's genital choices feel authentic, but Assassin's Creed doesn't feel authentic. Baldgate, excuse me. I think he means virtue signaling, but like, where did they virtue signal? Were there like multiple ads in Assassin's Creed that said like, for the first time ever, we're having a black main character? Was it something like that? Did they do that? Because if they did that, I would agree that that would be very performative. But it feels more like you liked one of them, so you don't think it's performative and you feel like it's authentic, but you didn't like the other one? I think it's because Assassin's Creed wasn't woke at first, but now it is, and Baldur's Gate was always not woke. Oh. Do you think that's what it is? Just like, but the problem is that the other guy, the guy in the video that he's watching said that all these indie developers are making these gay games, which kind of like derails that point a little, I feel like, because that guy seems to be mad that indie developers are making games that they like. As a man, I find none of the games he calls men made for men by men appealing at all. Yeah, the closest I got to enjoying like a man's game was I played a lot of Tarkov. And I got the Kappa case. And to be honest though, it was a fun game, especially there were many parts of it that were very fun, but especially the market manipulation. That was amazing. Before they changed the barter system. Oh, I have to admit something to you guys. I love being a capitalist in video games. I do. Oh, I do. I'm sorry. Crucify me. Oh, it's fake money is the thing. Accountant ass take. Okay, listen, you get one accounting degree and then everybody calls you a nerd, man. It's crazy. That is crazy. I think it's just everyone should be okay with what cis white dudes like, but games that include anything else should allow them to opt out of it. What game isn't a man's game? That's what I'm saying. Real men can play any game. Only little bitches and pussies can't play some games because they're too gay for them. Can you imagine you can't play a game because it's too gay? God forbid you start thinking about sucking cock. I played Cooking Mama once, and now all I can think about is sucking other men's cocks. This is terrible. My life is in shambles.
It's like Cyberpunk too. Yeah, Cyberpunk, and it totally makes sense. You're arguing semantics. It's 100% right. Well, what I'm saying, it's not semantics. Because I don't think that people have a problem with the actual...
Oh. They started playing rap music during the combat scene. That's what he said. That's why he said that it was performative. Could you link this? And I guess I have like another question for you. If rap music gets played in trailers with white characters, is that performative? Or is it only performative if it happens in a trailer and the lead is black? A genuine question. I'm not like trying to put you on the spot or insult you or anything. I'm genuinely asking what your opinion is.
My mom wouldn't let me play Mortal Kombat because she thought it would turn me into a lesbian.
You know, I would be like, Cap, that ain't happen. But I knew people who literally said that they couldn't play Pokemon because their parents said it would make them worship demons. So during a combat scene, they switched from classic Asian type music. That's a little bit racist. Sorry, dude. I don't mean to be the one to tell you, but it is a little racist to say classic Asian type music. They start hitting the mandolin. Anyways. To rap, you know, like J-rap exists, right? It's actually not that bad. You know, in general, I think like rap in other languages isn't always the best. It doesn't translate the best, but some J-rap actually kind of go hard though. It kind of goes crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Would it be okay if it was J-rap? If when Yasuke appeared on screen, would the rap music be okay if it was J-rap? These are all genuine questions because I feel like some of these accusations get thrown around, but they haven't been fully all of the different instances of what it could be haven't been fully considered. So, yeah. Okay, moving on.
Well, characters. I think that they have a problem.
Oh, there was no rap. It was just like a trap beat. Oh.
With the way these studios portray the characters, because they do it in a caricatured way that's disrespectful and it's self-aggrandizing. That's the reason why people don't like it. Nope.
Please notice, maybe I'm wrong and I'll eat my words and I will apologize, but notice how multiple claims have been made, but with no examples.
Nobody said Sergeant Johnson and Halo was DEI, okay?
Sorry, examples of the woke stuff. There's lots of examples of here's what it looks like when it's being done well, but there haven't been any examples of like, here's what's... The problem is that games keep doing this performative shit. Assassin's Creed, but there's no example of why it's performative, or if there is an example provided, there's no example of why it's provided. Sorry, that was like kind of a clusterfuck of a sentence. Let me start over. Some claims will be made, but no examples will be provided, and when examples are provided, they aren't elaborated on. It's kind of like me saying, oh, Asmongold's a bad streamer because everything is so performative. But I don't provide any examples of the stuff that he does that is performative. It's like, wait, you're just saying that. Can you show me how? Can you prove that point? I would like to be convinced.
Nobody fucking said that. And by the way, this isn't current cultural brain rot. If you go look at the Space Marine 2 trailer, you see a black guy, an Asian guy, and a white guy. They're all Space Marines. And they're like, what are we going to do? Are we going to kill him? Yeah, let's kill him. If you read the comments down below, there's nobody saying, oh, yeah, great, more DEI. Nobody actually thinks this. It's about the way that it's presented. That's the problem. The problem is they're stereotyping. Yeah, like adding in Mrs. Freeze, and she just looks like your traditional, like, butch lesbian. How disrespectful. It's insane to me. It's awful.
Won't someone think about how disrespectful it is to the fictional character Mrs. Freeze? It's very disrespectful because women who are gorgeous have a really hard life and they just aren't getting enough representation.
Me in any way anymore. So this is why I mostly play 20-year-old games on my channel, because they were just better. I was recently reading an insider interview about what went down at Volition Studios with the disastrous Saints Row reboot from an inside source. Mm-hmm. This source said that the LGBTQ community...
It's like, here's the truth.
Will I get nuked if I post a link to the point in the Assassin's Creed trailer that he's on about? I mean, your link will get... Chat, PSA, if you post links in chat, you will get timed out because I don't want people spamming links in here. And it's the only way to make sure people don't spam links. I can still see all because I am an all-knowing streamer. So I will see your links as well as everything else about you. Moving on. Natalie Rose, thank you so much for the 10 months.
Nobody wants to look like this in real life, hardly ever. This dude, you know who this dude goes? He goes, and you know what game he plays? Doom. He's going to go and play fucking Halo. Nobody wants to look like this. Like with the bow tie and everything, like Bill Nye, the science guy. This is not like, a guy is not going to see this and be like, oh, that's me. Absolutely not. Now, are there some...
I mean, maybe it's not for you then. What? I don't get it.
People that do? Yeah, for sure. But not really. Get the shit out of here. Yeah, bro. Like, it's like a... It's like it feels like it's so safe,
sorry.
Right?
Within the company was actually pretty small.
Wait, so what did you post this link for? Well, I've seen the trailer. I don't really want to watch the trailer again unless there's a point that's being made. I've seen the trailer. I went over this a very long time ago. So yeah. Yeah.
But they are the loudest and the most annoying, and the company leadership chose to promote these people into key roles. And that's how you get the absolute dumpster fire of a game that was Saints Row 2022.
Yeah.
I think what you have at a lot of these game studios is about 80% of the staff is probably just hetero dudes trying to do their job, but they're afraid of speaking up or saying what they actually think. And then you have the LGBTQ folks making decisions.
I think this is changing.
But there's no evidence of this. You know what there is evidence of? Massive lawsuits against companies like Blizzard and Riot for persistently having toxic environments, and not toxic in the cutout toxic friendships, toxic in the workplace violations, safety violations. There are lawsuits that show that in Riot and in Blizzard, the generally straight white dudes are persistently harassing and sexually harassing women at these companies. There's evidence of that. Do we have any evidence of like this claim that cis dudes are afraid to speak their mind? And if anyone hasn't read the lawsuit, I highly recommend taking a little skim through that. Because that shit's kind of crazy. Like they had like a smash or pass of all the women at I think this one was Blizzard. I could be mistaken. It might have been Riot. And they were sending this email out to like everybody. And the women would see this email. That seems like unprofessional behavior for a workplace. I don't know. I don't really care if you do that in your personal time, but like maybe that shouldn't be a thing at your job. Maybe you shouldn't be getting CC'd in emails talking about whether or not you're smash or passable. That doesn't seem like appropriate workplace behavior. And that's not even talking about the woman who was lactating. And so she would bring, I think, like a pump to work, which is pretty normal. And she would leave her breast milk in the fridge. And there were dude or dudes stealing it and drinking it. There's evidence of that. Can we get some evidence of the poor little cis white dudes that are so afraid to speak up against the queers? I'm happy to provide evidence of, now that was Homelander. I'm happy to provide evidence of how workplaces have been hostile historically to minorities, but I would love to see, I guess, like some proof that men are very scared to say anything, because this isn't generally what's happened in these workplaces.
Changing a lot on social media. So like for a while this was true, and I think that like when Elon bought social media, the ability to create
When Elon bought social media,
a narrative like this definitely went away. Or it didn't necessarily go away, but it was like dramatically nerfed. Because what would exactly. What ended up happening is that being accused of being the wrong thing, like, oh, you're sexist, oh, you just hate, you know, whatever. Like the effectiveness of that has gone down because there have been so many false accusations for this, or like just basically like if you're one of them, you're all of them. Exactly. That's what it is. It's still bad at work though. And I think that this definitely probably is true, is that people don't want to, like nobody wants to be the guy that's pushing against having a character in a game that's like gay or like LGBT. Or like changing a character to female or something like that. Nobody wants to be the person that's against that because that's probably going to make them look bad. Absolutely. What? That's thin ice. Yeah.
Asmongold heavily underestimates how often men are happy to make themselves look bad. Okay. It happens a significantly large number of times. Okay. It's a very surprising number of times. All right. Like, are you sure you want to go down this line? Are you sure you do? Interesting.
Yeah, of course. And like, you just think about it logically. You think about how many eggshells people.
My favorite thing is I love when these people say, just think about it logically. Oh, my bad.
Need to step on, need to avoid stepping on, or whatever it is. Whenever they're talking about...
Asmon has not worked a normal office job. I mean, he has, unfortunately, chat has informed me of this information. So now I have to have this lore in my brain. Very unfortunate stuff. But he hasn't worked in a traditional office in a very long time. And the problem is that like low key power corrupts. When you have a large audience of people that constantly support you and you kind of choose to not listen to people that disagree with you, it's very easy to continue to hold whatever silly positions you have.
About like any sort of like social issue at all. That's an HR complaint? Yeah, exactly.
It's why I'm so adamant that like if I ever say something that someone feels like I'm incorrect about, or they have sources or something, or studies, or anything really, any type of information to prove otherwise, please email me and let me know what I could be doing better. I'm always open to changing my mind. I'm always open to improving my opinions. And I never want to be one of those people that just doesn't change my mind. It's kind of cringe, TBQH.
Right? So like at work, it's probably 1,000 times worse.
About what kind of game to make, and everything just ends up being safe and soft and sensitive because, oh, we can't hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah.
So of course you get these shitty dumpster fire video games that nobody wants to play. After reading a lot of insider interviews with these developers, this is my sense of what has been happening. I also feel like there's this kind of unholy alliance right now between games journalists, white liberal women at game studios, and the LGBTQ community at game studios. And they all
God.
I'm so confused by like all of these points because I don't feel like any of them have been explained. It's kind of like if I just said, no, if you're allergic to peanuts, you can just eat peanut butter. It's different. No, I will not elaborate. Making claims and then not proving them doesn't make me believe your claim. You can't just vibes post and expect people to believe you, I guess. And yeah, Alyssa Merks makes them so mad. She makes them so mad. It's really funny because there's this trend that they have where they repost photos of herself. And she has a lot of photos where her ass looks really great. And then they post those photos because they think it makes her look bad. It's very weird, but she's a friend of the channel. She raised like $25,000, I think, or maybe more for Trans Lifeline. About like a week or two ago. Really cool.
I do think that there definitely is like a certain sense of like what's the word is for it? Like shared goals that the games journalists sometimes.
See, this is what I'm talking about, man. See, you fucking get it. The problem with video games is LGBTQ people, not the gross monetization, releasing half-completed games, broken games. Like, dude, as someone who used to be like a BioWare simp, like BioWare was my gaming studio. That's actually, BioWare was my 9/11, okay? As someone who's had the unfortunate experience of having a game studio just be totally destroyed over the course of 2 decades, releasing Andromeda, like, I still think, I never finished it, but I still think Andromeda had a lot of potential, but like, why release it half finished? Why? Why not just finish it first and then release it? Andromeda's story was ass, combat was cool. Honestly, the combat was not that bad, especially because, don't tell Mass Effect fans I said this, okay? Don't crucify me. Mass Effect's combat was never that great. So, all things considered, Andromeda, it kind of had a lot of improvements on that front. And you know, but like, why release a half-completed game? Why not? Why insult your player base like that, dude? Why insult your player base and push out garbage because you know they're gonna buy it? Like, fuck you guys, dude. Come on. Or even worse, Dragon Age. I'm not sure how many of you guys saw the most recent trailer for, what is it? I've lost all joy and love for BioWare games at this point. I've just been disappointed so many times. Best up, who would you marry? Liara, Tali, Samara. Don't even bring Garrus or Rex Denims. Samara, duh. Come on. Be fucking for real, man. But if I had to pick a dude, it'd obviously be Thane. I know. I'm a sucker. I'm a sucker. I'm sorry, guys. Veilguard, that's what it's called now. Yeah. Veilguard, Dragon Age Veilguard. It's just, wow. What a pathetic fuck you to players. Just genuinely, just this is the most disgusting trailer I've ever seen in my fucking life. No wonder it has a crazy dislike ratio. I know that the dislike ratio add-on isn't perfectly accurate, but they removed one of the things that is the most important It's the most important to Dragon Age combat, which is you can control all of the characters individually, like Baldur's Gate 3. It was like kind of like the OG Baldur's Gate 3, in my opinion. And they removed it. They made it like a hack and slash. They admitted that they're making it a hack and slash. You can only control your characters, and your teammates will just follow you around and autopilot. Like, again, like they made it into Mass Effect because it's, I think, easier to code or something. I don't fucking know. Less work. And then this is more of like a personal grievance, honestly. Where's like the gameplay trailer? I think it's this one. Dragon Age is a dark fantasy game, okay? It's supposed to be scary. All right? It's not supposed to be sort of like fun and cheery the way that I think Baldur's Gate is supposed to be. And I like both, and I just like, I wish that it wasn't this. I wanted not this. Inquisition isn't scary. I mean, even Inquisition felt a little grimy, just a little. This one, they just Marvel affected it to the max. This one, they just made it, they made it all shiny and stuff. And that's not what this game is. I know I sound like such a boomer being like, that's not what the game is supposed to be. But like, man, that's how I feel. That's really how I feel. A lot of people who worked on the game said it still is very dark. Are you sure? Watching a streamer play Dark Dragon Age Origins, it has a kind of a goofy undertone. Oh, for sure. I mean, there are like goofy aspects of the game, but at the end of the day, it's like there is the what is it, the Blight, and it's gonna come and get your ass. Kind of like a little bit horror, a little bit fun, a little bit dark. But yeah, there's still humor in it. So I don't know. Hot take, every Dragon Age game is a completely different tone than the other one, so I'm okay with this one. Yeah. I'm just sad because I wanted one thing and I'm not getting that one. Oh, at least in Mass Effect, you could tell your team what spells to cast while they idly shoot. Yeah. Basti, thank you for the 19 months. Thank you. Moving on. Basically, I hate that in some game studios, the viewers aren't listened to, the player base isn't listened to. They kind of just make whatever game they want to make. And that's that. And the worst part is, okay, you want to make a different type of game? Cool. I'm on board. But you have to do it well, man. You got to do it well. So like, in my opinion, Resident Evil 5 and 6 especially, those are not horror games. But you know what? If you're willing to accept that they're not horror games, they're actually pretty fun. They were actually very fun, especially if you were playing them with a friend. Very fun games, okay? Nothing in there is like scary, but it's a very fun co-op game. And they executed it well. For what they were trying to make, they executed well. 5 particularly. 6 was a little messy, but it still had a lot of fun aspects to it. The problem with a lot of games nowadays is that they just push them out and they're not finished. Like Andromeda. It's like, dude, you guys can be fucked to finish your game first? Are you serious? All right. Okay, man. Sure. Who cares about finishing games anymore? Yeah, just sell me your microtransactions and your DLCs, I guess. Cyberpunk, that was the biggest letdown on the planet, man. Biggest letdown on the planet. Moving on.
Feel like they're running PR for game studios.
Anyways, sorry, to finish, I realized I never really summarized my point. Can we criticize games and game studios that push out garbage instead of criticizing games for doing wokeism? Can we please? Chief Supreme, thank you so much for the 13 months. Thank you.
And I think this is a huge issue, and it's one of the reasons why people don't trust games journalists anymore.
All seem to be united around
this
one
guy gives
thing.
0 fucks. Yeah, he does. Bro, he just says it.
They actually hate gamers.
By the way, I think for a lot of
This is literally not true. The reason why game developers get exploited so much is because they love video games and they want to do nothing more than make video games. It's why they deal with crunch. It's why they deal with terrible hours. It's why they deal with getting like layoffs all the time. It's why they get underpaid. Okay. It's because they love video games so much and they want nothing more than to make video games. That's why. So this idea that the people who work these terrible jobs hate games and they're doing it just to fuck with you, man, you got to stop viewing yourself as like a main character, man. The world does not revolve around you. Gracious Plague, thank you so much for the gift.
Eastern Studios, this is true. I am actually a believer of this. I think that game developers do have genuine resentment for the average run-of-the-mill gamer guy. It actually is true. It's obvious, yep.
This is such a victim complex. It's like actually a little bit crazy.
In the West? Yeah, I think so.
And who are gamers overwhelmingly? Well, heterosexual dudes like us, of course.
Yes. This, you know what this is right here? This is a Call of Duty squad. Meeting up for the first time, probably. That's what it is right there.
Okay, people who play Call of Duty are not this buff. I'm so sorry. If this is any type of gamers, these guys play FIFA. Be fucking for real, girly pop. Okay, come on. I've met Call of Duty gamers. Bro, they look like XQC. No hate. I'm attracted to it. Okay, but these are Madden players. They're not COD players. Be fucking for real. You ever watch a CSGO tourney? The dudes do not look like this. Okay, they are twinks. Give them their valor. Come on.
This recent Reddit thread was written by an actual game developer and made me realize this. It reads, headline,
Am I allowed to say this? I kind of hate gamers. I'm a professional game designer, and I'm worried that I'm starting to hate gamers. Watching the gaming events on YouTube last month with the chat on was extremely disheartening experience.
Built like ferrets. Stop.
Every time a character that wasn't a cis-het white man appeared on screen, the chats would fill with
I love the image that they picked out. They were like, wait, we got to make this guy sound like a nerd. Let's put my voice through a filter and put some gay looking guy on the screen. Okay. This is such a dumb point because all gamers hate gamers. If you don't hate gamers, you're not a real fucking gamer, loser. Okay? Welcome, Calbecca. All right, I'm sorry. My ADC decided after 2 deaths, he was going to run it down mid for the rest of the game. Yes, I fucking hate gamers. And you would too if you actually played games, you fucking moron. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If you don't play games. All right?
calling the game woke or complaining about DEI.
And the problem is that he's kind of right, but he doesn't understand why it's like this. He views it as in like the people that are responding this way they're wrong, but you never think to yourself, why are they wrong? Why do they think this? Because like that's the real truth is that you don't really hear opinions like this. Like this guy is obviously, bro, this guy doesn't give a fuck. But like you're not going to hear a lot of other people, and this is the reason why I get a lot of hate is because I'll watch a video like this, I'll see what it says, right? For sure. But other people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to challenge this kind of stuff because they don't want to get in trouble.
What?
It's a lot now. People are suspicious now. Absolutely. But if you look at the actual opinions of people.
I think the argument of the video is basically there are many companies that used to make games mainly for white guys, but now are making games for different larger audiences. But the original white guys thought the same expectations and therefore they're disappointed. Examples of games that had the target audience changed. Overwatch, Wolfenstein, Saints Row. I don't even know if Overwatch necessarily had the audience change because Overwatch was always trying to appeal to, in my humble opinion, TF2 players. And TF2 players are some of the fruitiest players on the planet. There's a reason Germa came from TF2. Okay? But when it comes to things like, I mean, like Wolfenstein, sure, I don't disagree. Saints Row, I don't think I disagree either. But the stupid thing about this is like, games are either fun or they're not. Play them or don't. It's not more complicated than that. It's not. Like, I recently tried to play Hell Let Loose. A friend of mine recommended it, and they were like, yeah, I've really been getting into this. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. Can't believe I spent 30 bones on this. Came out 2021. That's pretty recent. Okay. 2021 is pretty recent. And then I just died like 20 times in a row and didn't see where I died from. And I was like, we'll just try this again later. I didn't stop playing the game because I was like, it's too manly. I just can't play this game. There's just too many men all over the place. I just can't play this game. No, I just I was just bad and I just died a bunch of times, didn't know what was happening, and then closed the game. It's not that difficult. It's very simple. You play the game, you have fun or you don't, and then you stop playing. It has nothing to do with any of the people that are in the game, whether it's too manly or too gay or too fruity or whatever. It's just, are you having fun? No? Yes? Okay. Play it or don't. There is a learning curve to it. Yeah, I mean, I also have never played a game like Hell Let Loose, so I'm going to give it another try or two. But yeah.
People in comment sections and the amount of people that are able to have free conversations about this, it's very obvious that this is an extremely prevalent opinion. My customers are wrong. What a moron. I know. And that's the thing, is that these people try to... You will never have a successful product if it exists in opposition of your audience.
Wait, I didn't actually get a chance to read this post. I'm a professional game designer. I'm worried that I'm starting to hate gamers. Watching YouTube the last month with the chat on was extremely disheartening experience. Oh, you never read YouTube chat. YouTube chat sucks dick, okay? Do not read YouTube chat. Every time chat or something, cis het white man appeared on the screen, the chats would fill with message calling the game woke. Oh, I think it says every time a character that wasn't, the right side of the fucking video is cut off, so I can't read it. Every time that wasn't a shooter or a hyper-casual competitive online game garnered Z's. And then I checked Twitter, and it's just a bunch of people complaining that the MGS3 remake is not yellow enough, and there are right ways and wrong ways to be Elden Ring. People hating on the new Dragon Age. Doesn't match the tone that they imagined for it. That's me. I've seen people implying that the main character in the Fable trailers is ugly because it's a self-insert. I don't know. It's just the internet magnifying negative voices, I guess, doing what it does best, but blah, 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 gamers. Yeah, I mean, this is just, don't listen to dipshits on the fucking internet. I'm sorry to be the person to say this. I'm so sorry. People are mad haters online. You could show someone like the most gorgeous scoop of ice cream and be like, doesn't this look amazing? And there's one asshole that's like, I'm literally lactose intolerant and I hope you fucking get hit by a truck for posting this. It's like, wow, man, dude, whoa. What the fuck? Jesus. And it feels like it's only garnered to you. And then you go to anyone else's Twitter page and you look at their replies, or you go to anyone's YouTube stream and you look at their chatters, and it's all shit. It's all shit. It's just that the internet amplifies all the annoying people, and the internet is mostly comprised, or the people that type on the internet, the people that chat on the internet are... cringe, okay? They're cringe. All right. A lot of them are cringe. All right. It's just about what flavor of cringe you are. And there are the people that know they're cringe and they accept it. And they're like, dude, I'm going to be fucking cringe. Hell yeah. And then there are the cringe people that have no idea that they're cringe. And those are the worst. Oh, the worst. Oh, God. You can be the juiciest peach in the world, but some people just don't like peaches. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much exactly, yeah.
It's written by a game designer? No, it's probably a random person. It has nothing to do with it. This probably it's probably some 14-year-old. But I think it's pretty obvious that people think this way. Because gamers are just immature edgelords. Well, then stop making games. Stop trying to insert yourself into a place that people don't want you. If all gamers are just immature edgelords, then why are you trying to make content for them? Just stop doing it.
This is not a consistent belief that you hold in other aspects of your life, Asmongold. It's just not.
Every game that wasn't a shooter or a hyper-casual competitive online game garnered zzz and boring comments. I've seen.
You want to know why they garnered zzz and boring comments? Because they were boring. So
he's doing the Biden whisper.
Let me give you guys this is something people might not know. There is a word that's used. It's cozy. When you hear cozy, I want you to switch that in your mind. Boring. Cozy game, boring game.
People implying that the MC in Fable trailers is ugly because it's a self
She is.
insert of some random level designer working at Playground whom they deemed not fuckable enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, people don't want to look like look at an ugly chick. Yeah, they want to have a hot character. You stupid?
Oh man, I have to admit something to you guys, okay? I watch Asmongold at least partially because I hope if I watch enough of it, enough of this content, I will have the same unearned confidence that he has. Because it is amazing. Like, I want to be able to get on the internet and be like, dude, women don't like you because you're fucking ugly. Like, I want to say that. Oh, dude, and mean it. One day, if I watch enough brain rot, I should be able to do it, okay?
Duh. You fucking retarded. Like, what the fuck? Where do these people come from? Where do these people come from? What the fuck? I know. It's so dumb, bro. Like, God.
I don't know. It's just the internet magnifying negative voices, I guess, doing what it does best. But it's making me real tired of gamers.
So at this point, it seems that games journalists and all of the liberal LGBT mafia that work at game studios actually hate their audience. And this is a comment I keep reading from you guys again and again. I swear they literally hate us. They seem to be dead set on giving their audience exactly what we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
How long is your business going to be open if you're dead set on not giving the customer what they want?
Well, in the past year or so, I think that we know exactly the date of what that is.
It's so funny to say liberal LGBT mafia. It's just the epitome of the enemy is both strong and weak.
Yeah. Great question. I think that we know exactly how long it's going to last. They want to change the customer. And this is the thing, right? Is that these are people, like, in a lot of cases, like a lot of these game developers, I mean, these are just random people, right? I mean, some of them are weirdos, some of them are not. But these are people in a lot of cases, like, you don't want to be, like, talked down to by a person like this. Absolutely not. You're like a 28-year-old software engineer. I don't want you to be telling me what my politics should be. Stop it. Get the fuck out of here. Yes.
Damn, what you got against 28-year-old software engineers? It's fucked up, man. Damn. Fuck, dude.
This is why when
that's like 90% of your audience, man. Damn.
Skanks like Alyssa Mercante are crying about Kotaku shutting down and losing their jobs, and game studios are going under because they were associated with Sweet Baby Inc. I just
look where it was from. Look.
God, I'm so toxic. Oh, I'm so toxic. Oh fuck, dude. I love when he does the laugh, the knowing laugh. He sounds like a fucking caveman. It's amazing. It's so good. Oh my god, I'm so addicted. I'm so addicted. It's like a fucking car crash that I can't help but rubberneck for. Oh,
Inc. I just
so good.
Look where it was from. Look. Oh, yep.
R/cartoon ass laugh.
There we go. Oh man, there it is.
That's a guffaw if I've ever seen one, dude. Oh my goodness. This same guy said a good job because not really not because of me. Oh, dude, the Tim Pools of the world. Christ. Dr. Felcher, thank you for the 11 months. Ah. Oh my god, I just realized we're only halfway through. Okay, no more pausing. We're finishing this video. Let's go.
The main base of operations. Oh god.
Inc. I just laugh. Let them burn. Let all these companies burn who don't know how to give the audience. The wonderful irony in all this is that it's the very games that the woke cancel mob has tried to cancel that seem to do the best. Remember Hogwarts Legacy? Yeah, men who dress in women's clothes tried to get it canceled. Instead, the game sold 25 million copies. Oops. Remember
Elden Ring?
It was
extremely fucking popular.
Remember how...
I mean, it fell off immediately because a bunch of people bought it to like own the libs and then realized it was really fucking boring and then stopped playing it immediately.
How the woke mob tried to...
Also, who tried to cancel Elden Ring? I feel really bad for gamers because a lot of them don't have any media literacy, so they don't understand when games are like matriarchal in nature, like Elden Ring, right? Or like I haven't played it, but my understanding, and I will play it eventually, but my understanding of Bloodborne is that there are a lot of themes in it that relate to. Let me see if I can find the Wikipedia. I don't want to get it. It's all about the women's experience. That's my general understanding of Bloodborne, but I want to see if I can find combat, multiplayer, settings. Okay, this is about the plot. I guess I would have to look through and find it and see. I'm just skimming through the Wikipedia. I don't see anything in here. Hard recommend Visceral Femininity Bloodborne video essay by Honeybat. Yeah. Anyways, moving on.
Problematic
from
female
soft games of having
what?
quote problematic depictions of women. Oops, sold 25 million copies.
How is that them trying to cancel it? One random author saying some dumb shit? What?
Here's another thing about Elden Ring, is that I understand that Queen Marika is not necessarily trans, but for a fantasy story, it's pretty goddamn fucking close, isn't it? It's really fucking close to that. And so this is like the main character that the entire story is built around. Everybody loves the lore. Nobody's complaining about this. Nobody actually cares. Kind of, yes, exactly. Mikola as a female alter ego. Yes, this is it. This isn't something that people really give a shit about. Elden Ring is a great example. Consort, yes. So, promised consort Radon. What does that mean? Oh, jeez. Oh, fuck. What the? Oh, my God. Think about it.
At this point, making an offensive game seems to guarantee that game's success. We
Stellar
could talk about
Blade.
Stellar
What? Okay. I don't know what point was supposed to be made there, but we're just gonna move on, I guess, because
Blade, pissing off all of the liberal.
I don't know what I was
progressives,
supposed to
and
take from
yet
that.
everybody went out and bought it. Okay, so in the rest of this video, I want to give you 4 examples of a game or game series going from masculine to feminine or gay.
So I've talked to you guys before that I love to be friends with a lot of normie people. And it's because it keeps me very grounded and it keeps me, still based in reality. And it gives me a better understanding of what actual normal people think, not like people online who are being paid to grift. And my most normie friend, like this guy is a huge normie, internet friend of mine. We've been friends for a very long time in a server of mine back in the old days when I used to play MMOs. And their standard is basically anti-woke all the time, right? That's it. That's their standard all the time. They're just like, whatever isn't woke. I like that. The thing is, though, they're a normal person. So, for example, in a conversation about non-binary people, I don't remember even how we got on this topic, but we're talking about it, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, non-binary people, I mean, they're just like, maybe you feel like a man, maybe someone else feels like a woman, they just kind of feel like neither, and that's just where they're at, and the labels feel bizarre to them. And they're like, I don't get it. I'm like, yeah, I mean, just like, they just blah, 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 blah. I don't get it. Blah, 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 blah. I don't get it. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it just kind of doesn't really like matter that much. And they're like, yeah, I don't really care. Whatever they want, man. That's their position, which in my opinion is generally the normie position. I don't understand this thing, but it also doesn't impact me, so I don't give a fuck. when it came to Stellar Blade, which they bought and played, and I watched them play the game in the server because I didn't feel like playing it myself. They told me it was actually pretty good, and they told me it was worth playing. I was like, oh, maybe I will play. I don't know. And they said, dude, why are people mad that the developers changed the skins? Some people just are mad to be mad. They're literally just mad to be mad. Like the developer himself literally said that they wanted to. She's got other skins where she's in a bikini. Why are they mad? I don't know. Some people just want to be mad. And I'm like, oh, yes, dude. When the most normie person you know is normie as usual, you're like, fuck, dude, I'm so vindicated right now. Yes. That is to say, there's a lot of people that just get mad about nothing, and they convince themselves that they're right to be mad about it. But in reality, they are the weird ones. Kind of like conservatives getting mad about tampons in boys' bathrooms. It's like, who is mad about this? Who is being injured by boys seeing tampons? Do they know that they exist in Walmart and in Walgreens and CVS and Rite Aid? You can go anywhere and see tampons. There's no one being harmed by tampons. Why are you angry about this? This is so stupid. This is such a stupid thing to be mad about. And then you think you're gonna beat the weird allegations, dude? That's strange, man. That's really strange. Did they not grow up with women in the house? I don't know. I just don't get it. Tasty Pants, thank you so much for the Prime. Thank you. Basically, TLDR, I really do implore any of the people that have like fully bought into this ideology to like go talk to normies, because normies don't give a fuck about any of this shit. And when you go talk to a normie, you'll realize it's really not that serious. And you guys are kind of getting mad about nothing. Like, literally nothing. No one is coming for your games. The woke mob isn't going to come get your game. You're just mad about literally nothing right now. It's weird, dare I say.
And yet everybody went out and bought it. Okay, so in the rest of this video, I want to give you 4 examples of a game or game series going from masculine to feminine or gay, and it basically either killed or ruined the franchise. Number 1, Ubisoft and Red Storm Entertainment. So Red Storm Entertainment was a video game company founded by the legendary Tom Clancy to make Tom Clancy video games. He sold the company to Ubisoft in the year 2000, and Ubisoft in the 2000s actually had some balls and made some of the manliest games you've ever seen. There were the Splinter Cell games, the Ghost Recon games, the Rainbow Six games, and the Far Cry games. Yeah. All of these games pretty much feature exclusively men, and these IPs in the 2000s had so much testosterone, just a single glance from a woman in their direction would get her pregnant. I mean, motherfucking...
Oh, it's so cringe. Oh no. The YouTuber is cringe. Oh. Motherfucker gets no pussy. You know he doesn't. Not being that cringe. Motherfucker got no friends. Oh. Oh. You know, usually family members being like, look, he decided to come out of their room is always triggering and, you know, should always inspire violent thoughts. I'm joking. But actually, this guy's family is totally allowed to say that. Okay, this is the one instance where your family is totally allowed to say, look, you finally decided to get out of their room, because you really do need to get out of your room. Whatever this YouTuber is, not Asmongold, the guy he's responding to.
Sam Fisher.
The games were way more masculine back then. This is absolutely true. Yeah.
And it's so sad that your version of masculinity is so narrow. Consider broadening your horizons, man. That's quite depressing. I won't lie.
They were guy games made for guys. Absolutely. It's not even a question.
Come on. The dude is the ultimate Giga Chad. Scott Mitchell in Ghost Recon. Now, you pick your own character in Far Cry 2, but it's definitely a manly game that will put hair on your chest. So what is Red Storm Entertainment up to today? Well, I recently saw that Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland is being led by a man who dresses in women's clothes in his free time.
Sorry, 1 second. Grabbing something to drink. I'm thirsty.
Now, look, I don't give a shit
What
if
the
you want to
fuck?
identify as a dragon and go around laying magic eggs, but can we agree that the least masculine thing on earth you can do is dress in women's clothes? Tom Clancy would be...
I really don't give a fuck about that, to be honest with you. I don't care. Like, what you want to do with your personal life is up to you. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Just don't put your worldview into a game in a way that's not representative. That's the way I see it. Yeah, he does. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Like, there's plenty of people that are probably weird that make plenty of great games. Yeah, that's the way I see it. Absolutely. The issue is they do. Well, then that's the problem.
rolling over in his grave right now if he knew the absolute disaster that Red Storm Entertainment had become. Number 2, Wolfenstein. So I was recently playing Wolfenstein The New Order for the first time, which came out in 2014. And I have to say, of all the games I was sure were going to avoid woke Western progressivism, this game was pretty high up there. The first 3 entries of the reboot were all fantastic. They had the badass BJ Blazkowicz, an absolute
Nobody tell
unit
Denims
as the
I
main
suck.
character, ripping apart entire armies of Nazis with the sexy and smart Anya as his arm candy and wife.
I only
Machine
played like
Games'
one of
first
these.
3
It was like the first
Wolfenstein
or second
entries,
one.
which came out in 2014,
PC.
2015, and 2017, are all great. They have normal men and women doing normal shit in them. Awesome.
Okay.
But of course, the woke mob had to get involved somehow.
How's
so you
that?
have a beloved series with a beloved, tough, male, manly main character. Do you suppose it's a good idea to kill off that guy and replace him with cringy girl boss characters?
Oh, God.
Wolfenstein Youngblood came out in 2019,
Oh,
and it's
God.
an absolute tone-deaf disaster. So many modern video games, I find myself asking, who wanted this?
Oh,
who
my
asked
God,
for that?
bro. This shit drives me crazy.
It's just like they don't like that the main character changed genders. Is that it? It's literally the main character's daughter or whatever. Okay. Oh, okay.
I'm sorry, but like, I've really got to say, like, that was so bad. Yeah.
You know what my problem is with this sort of mentality? It's very juvenile. Like, what a petulant child you must be that your taste cannot be expanded. That you must watch big sweaty dudes getting on top of each other to feel manly. It's the epitome of only eating mac and cheese and being grossed out at the idea of sushi. Being like, I can't have beef tartare. Where's my chicken nuggies? Give me my chicken nuggies now. It's like, well, why don't you try out something new? Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you can broaden your horizons a little bit. You might find that you like some of this other stuff. And you just whine and bitch and moan because you only want to eat mac and cheese and chicken nuggies. And if you ever go anywhere that doesn't have mac and cheese and chicken nuggies, you throw a tantrum like a petulant child. That's so sad. That is so unadventurous. You don't even want to try anything else ever. You're just not gonna try anything else. You don't think that maybe you could be missing out on some of life's experiences? Like, you're limiting your pleasure in the world because you insist on holding on to an ideology that is just furthering your childlike behavior. And you see no problem with it. And in fact, you think it's cool and based that you're a loser with very little taste. Wait, kind of bars for a second there. It's sort of the same type of ignorance that comes from people who don't understand modern art. It's like, I could paint that canvas to be red. It's easy. That's easy. And then someone rips the work of art and then they actually can't repair it because the original artist's way of using brush strokes, or the specific brush stroke technique that he had, made it so that the red paint couldn't be seen, or like the brush strokes couldn't be seen. And it's like, oh, not so easy, huh? Huh. It's almost like there's complicated stuff here, and color theory is complicated, and methodology behind modern art is complicated. And you're oversimplifying something because you don't understand it, because you have a pathetic fear of change. How sad it must be that you were a dinosaur in a world with computers. Man, that's so weird. I'm stroking my brush till I got paint all over my shit. Why you hating on chicken nuggies? Bad allegory, because chicken nuggies are fire. Listen, as someone who loves chicken nuggies and did nothing but like live off of chicken nuggies when I was in my struggle bus days, okay? I like them. But I also don't order chicken nuggies every time I go out to eat. I order new stuff sometimes. And sometimes I regret having ordered it. And sometimes I'm like, whoa, I'm glad I ordered something different this time, because I actually really like this one. This one was pretty damn good. Foxican American, thank you so much for the gift sub. Thank you. I think people forget to realize that modern art is more about the process than about the finished product. Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't understand that a lot of modern artists and a lot of impressionists and expressionists and absurdists, they all could do technical paintings. They can do the hyper-realistic painting that you get so hard and wet and juicy over. They are choosing not to because they think that that form of painting is lifeless. And they want to do more than that. Look at Picasso. Realism. I think he was it absurdism that he did? Or was it abstract? I think it was absurdism. Oh, it was cubism. Thank you guys. Sorry. But like, here's some of Picasso's early works. The thing is, he didn't want to draw that. It's not that he was bad and he did a bunch of garbage, and that's why the reason why he put out a bunch of garbage is because he couldn't do this. It's because he didn't find pleasure doing realistic paintings. He didn't feel like it was a good tool to express what he wanted to express, because it is a very narrow understanding of art to think that the only thing that makes art good is how realistic it is. It's a very childish understanding of art. It's like T-Pain, he can really sing. He just wants to use auto-tune. Oh God. Oh my God. Yeah, so it's just here, this is the other one. Burnett Newman's painting, Jewish American artist Burnett Newman's paintings have endured several vandalistic attacks over the years. He's a look into the destruction and restoration. So he was the guy who made the paintings like Who's Afraid of Red, Yellow, and Blue, I think, or something. Yeah, Who's Afraid of Red, Yellow, and Blue. It was vandalized by knives, with Newman's 1951 cathedra being collateral damage in the third attempted attack. Below is a history of the vandalism and restoration. Let's keep scrolling. The first attack. So here's the Who's Afraid of Red, Yellow, and Blue, number 4. And it's literally just a painting of red, blue, and yellow. Serious, thank you so much for the tier 1. The first attack. Okay, then this one is because of this, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this is the most famous attack on it. Second and most famous attack on one of, what the fuck was that sound? Barnett Newman's painting occurred in 1986 when a man named Gerard Jan van Blanderen. What a stupid ass name, Bladeren. Walked into the museum and willfully damaged it with a box cutter. He created a series of long slashes on the painting, which when added together were a total of 50 feet long. He was sentenced to 5 months in prison for the attack, which he served, though he never experienced remorse for it. Here's the painting that's been destroyed. And then it says, the painting had generated strong reactions for years leading up to the attack, with its simplicity provoking a sense of anger in many museum goers. Many people saw the painting, thought it didn't deserve to be in a museum due to its simplicity. The museum had already received numerous letters expressing their outrage and disgust at the painting. Okay, and here it just says, though Van Bladeren claimed his attack was motivated by a similar outrage, it's important to note here once again Newman's identity as a Jewish American painter. Many people at the time didn't even believe he deserved to be sent to prison for the vandalism. But then the problem is, after that, they tried restoring it. They tried to restore this painting. Here's their attempts at trying to restore it, right? There was a conversation concerning who would do the restoration of the painting. Despite the work provoking a lot of anger in museum goers due to its simplicity, the painting was actually incredibly intricate, and experts knew that it would be nearly unattainable to complete a faithful restoration. Although the work was mostly just an expense of the color red, both the shade and the technique Newman used were very difficult to replicate. Prior to the slashing, it was almost impossible to see the brushstrokes on the work with a naked eye. Additionally, one of the cardinal rules of restoring a painting is that everything done to the work should be reversible, something that would be very difficult to do with such large cuts through the body of work. The painting sat damaged for many years because no one wanted to touch it. So people literally saw this, were mad. They were like, this painting sucks. It's just literally a fucking stupid gay ass color. I'm going to slash this shit. They slashed it. Oh, Anissa, hi. And then the restoration people were like, dude, this is too hard to do. Wait, this is actually mad difficult, man. How do you get it so you can't even see the brush strokes? How do you get this shade? What the fuck? Who's afraid of red? White people, it turns out. Which is very funny that the name of the painting is Who's Afraid of Red, Yellow, and Blue, and many people express their rage about it. I legitimately thought it was a piece of red paper. The paint job is that good. I know. Are we talking about art? Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I did take art history classes and then I became a total art loser. And then I realized I was so childish and immature for ever even uttering the words modern art sucks. And ever since then, my life has been dedicated to trying to make sure I can make up for my sins. Okay. All right. To make up for my sins against the art world and my pathetic juvenile ideas about art. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned and I shall spend the rest of my life attempting to right my wrongs. Okay. But moving on, basically, yeah, it's sad to be like, oh, I only want to play masculine games that have big, strong, sweaty men in them, and I don't want to see any women unless they're really hot and sexy, and they exist as arm candy for the men, for the boys. That's it. That's all I want. It's like, first of all, kind of gay. Not gonna lie. Sorry, that is kind of gay. You're like literally staring at these hot, sweaty guys. Okay. But second, you can't imagine a world where you enjoy anything else. That's sad for you, man. You live in this hell that you have created for yourself. You're like the old boomer that's like, I'm not using that damn newfangled phone technology. It's like, dude, grandpa, there's so much on here. If you could just grow the fuck up and learn how to use a keyboard. There's so many boobs, grandpa, more than you've ever seen in your life. I promise you. I'm not using no damn computer. It's like, fucking dude, you're lost, dude. It's literally your loss. It's literally your loss, man. But sure, man, complain. Go yell at that cloud, dude. Yeah, go for it. Sure. Okay, man. All right, sure, whatever you say, grandpa. All right, let's finish this video. I say, after having paused for 1 billion years after having watched only 5 minutes.
This game was so shit. Yeah, I think
Wait, why is my audio? Oh, I think my earbud finally died. That's okay. We can swap to the other one.
this does matter a lot. By the way, it does. Like, not even the girls wanted this. Yeah, this is the thing. Is like, guys don't want to play, like, they don't want to play as a girl in like a fucking war game, really. Like, unless it's something like Stellar Blade. Like, if you're making a game for an audience of guys.
I have many male friends that would disagree and enjoy themselves a good amount of boob physics, okay? So I'm gonna need you to step off for 2 seconds, sir. That's rude to them.
You've got to make it appeal to that audience. Like, you can't make a game that, like, you go and kill zombies and, like, Nazis and shit, and then just change everything and make it appeal to women. That's not the way it works.
Really? Who said that?
Like, I'm sorry.
God came down and ordained Wolfenstein shall be for men's pleasure and their pleasure alone. Just like sex.
It does not work. Do it's cute? Yeah. I want men? Absolutely.
Yes. I often ask the same thing of the new Star Wars shows by Kathleen Kennedy as well. The Wolfenstein reboot had the perfect synergy of story and gameplay. You are BJ Blazkowicz unleashing his rage on the Nazis for killing everyone he loved. You see this come across in his brutal assassinations, like sticking a
female gaming is a myth, just like the man, just like the female orgasm.
Rusty pipe through the eye socket of an SS Waffen commander. But the setup to Wolfenstein Youngblood is incredibly cringe. In it, you play as BJ's daughters, and they're honestly nothing like him.
Jesus, man.
His daughters are nothing like him.
Me?
Oh my god. Oh, are you kidding me? This is terrible. What are we gonna do?
Wow.
Wow. I'm so outraged right now. This is disgusting.
The first time you kill somebody, they don't really want to do it.
Who asked for this, man? It's crazy. Who the fuck wants this? I think I slightly disagree. I think you should still make it appeal to men, but I think having a female lead could still work. But why would you do it? But why? Like, it does matter. Like, I'm sorry, guys, it matters.
And when they
why do things change when they can stay the same? Why? Wah. Me not like change. Wah. Oh gosh.
Finally kill the guy, they have to have lattes and talk about it afterwards. Youngblood is a perfect example of how a cutscene can go so wrong in a game. BJ's setup is perfect and explains to you why you're doing the actions you're doing. BJ's daughters, however, are acting like they're in an episode of Big Bang Theory the whole time, but oh yeah, they just happen to be killing Nazis and haha, isn't this so funny?
I also think that there's a very big problem, and I have a shared responsibility in this problem, is that people that are millennials, that are my age, my people, are some of the most unserious, inauthentic, painfully lame and boring groups of people that I have ever seen. It's so fucking surface level cringe. I can't even fucking believe it.
Listen, okay, millennials were the first generation to have unlimited access to the internet. Okay, the problem is that their brain didn't develop with the internet. Their brain developed and then the internet came around. They weren't made for the internet and they were given the internet and now they don't know what the fuck to do with it. Okay, give them a break. Just please. They're trying their fucking best, man. All right.
Everything is sarcastic. Nothing is authentic. Nothing is.
I'm a cusper, guys. Which means I get to insult both groups. Yeah, I should have been born at a different time, guys. Maybe you could have been as lucky as me.
Genuine. There are always these like moments of brevity, like, oh, ha ha ha. It's not. There's nothing serious at all. It's just cringe. It's cringe, and it's
Cookies thing with Tier1, Cosmic thing with Prime.
Embarrassing. Zoomers don't even like them. They don't even like themselves. Yeah, that's why they're on fucking antidepressants. They're fucking crazy. They've got 6 different mental disorders in their profile picture. Yeah, they don't even like them.
Okay. There are a lot of self-loathing people that are very funny. Okay. Watch it, pal. That's like all of Zoomers. Okay.
Themselves. Nobody else likes them either. Of course not. I'll tell you one thing. One person that definitely didn't like them. Watch these fucking games and you'll know too. It's probably their fucking dad. Holy shit. These people are awful.
First time your content's fun. I think there might be a point there somewhere, but his takes are just not it. The problem is that this is my opinion, okay? The problem is that Asmongold's foundation for things are not on like stable, steady ground. And so he comes up with a lot of post hoc rationalization for why he agrees with things. But the problem is that that rationalization doesn't always line up with his value systems in other respects, in other areas of his life. That's the problem, genuinely. If I was to give my opinion, all right, my humble opinion, I do think he tries his best to be consistent, and I've always given him respect for being able to take shit. Because, for example, one content creator that I think is kind of pathetic is like Ethan Klein, but that's because he goes after other people all the time, and the second anyone pushes back against him, he like cries like a little fucking baby. Best example is like his attacks on Frogan. Just like she's just tweeting and he points out her tweets and he's like, dude, can you believe her? And the second literally anyone calls him out and is like, hey, dude, you're kind of being a douchebag. He's like, you're so mean to me. Just let me be a Zionist in peace. I can't believe it. I used my platform to tell millions of people that I was a Zionist and now you're being. It's like, God damn, bro, grow some thicker skin. You've been on the internet for a decade and most of your career was made making fun of people. That's why I used to watch you, dude. It was funny. Stop being such a little bitch. You kidding me? What I will say about Asmongold, which is why I like to watch his content, he can take an insult and he can take some fucking shit. All right? And I respect the fuck out of that. I respect the fuck out of anyone who can dish it out but can take it. And if you dish it out, you better fucking be able to take it. And he can take it. So, yes, I will call him Asmongold, okay?
Tonally all over the place.
It's not the worst generation, it's the cringe generation.
Millennials are unfortunately very cringe. It's sad, but it's true.
And just so full of cringy and awful cinematics.
Yep.
Which is ironic because
Absolutely.
the cinematics in the first 3 games were like so good and short, and they got to the point and they were really emotional and impactful. Example number 3, Gears of War. For a full explanation.
The issue is that if a game is bad and it has a male main character, it's just a bad game. But if a game is bad and it has a female main character, it must be bad because of the female main character. Correct. This image really has been cemented in my mind. It's getting to the point where I'm going to start doing the "don't make me tap the sign" meme, but it's literally this. It's literally this comic. Why do people remove watermarks? How it works. This is the name of the comic. What's the XKCD? I don't know if this, whatever. But it's 2 dudes. One of them is doing math and he sucks ass. And the guy says, wow, you suck at math. And then the next panel is like a chick doing math, but she's doing math bad. And it says, wow, girls suck at math. It's literally just this meme. Again. Again and again and again and again. It's just like, oh, women worked on this game? It must have been bad because the women worked on it. You know how many bad, mediocre games men make? A lot. All right. Most of the bad games, sorry to tell you guys, are made by men. Because most games are made by men. Okay. It's like any player base, like of any competitive game. Guess what? There are way more men that suck at video games than women. It's just that there are less women that play competitive games. So you don't see as many good female players at the highest level. There's also like all the other stuff that goes along with it. But the oversimplification, like the universe you have to live in, that everything is super simple and you can condense everything into one sentence and blame one group very easily, is so weird. And it's very childish. Like, I have these people just not read like any pieces of media? It feels like the type of mindset you have to, or sorry, if you have this type of mindset and this worldview, it feels like the hardest work of fiction you ever read was like Catcher in the Rye. Like, you need to broaden your horizons a little and see what else is out there in the world, because you're missing out, man. Like, look, man, you want to make a million videos talking about how you're so oppressed? Go for it, man. Sure, go for it. I think it's very entertaining. You're providing me free entertainment and free content. Thanks, man. But like, I feel bad for you. There's some good shit out there if you can just grow up and put on your big boy pants.
Who do you think was playing Gears of War? You want to know, all my friends that I knew that were playing Gears of War, the coolest thing to them was like the Marines. You know, like, yeah, bro, like you go into Marines and you learn how to shoot a rifle, right? It's like, yeah, that's what it is. It's all guys. Like, I remember back growing up, like, I didn't know a single girl that liked fucking Gears of War.
Sorry.
Not a single one.
I inhaled some soda.
Of how the woke mob girl bossed Gears of War. See my video.
I played Gears of War. Anissa, you're lying. Okay? You're lying. Okay? You're a liar.
On that game, but I'll keep this short. The first 3 Gears games are an incredible trilogy focusing on the bonds and brotherhood between men. They're incredibly masculine games, focusing on duty and sacrifice in military orders. And I know some of you hate this, but for 10,000 years, it's only been men fighting wars. Sorry.
It pretty much still is. Let's be honest.
The first 3 games focus on Marcus.
I don't know a single girl stop there. This is unbelievable, okay? Women can send drone strikes to Middle Eastern countries as well, okay? All right. Women can commit war crimes just as well as men can. Excuse you. All right, you literally just sit in a room in the middle of fucking New Mexico or whatever and press some stupid dumbass buttons, and then you kill thousands because you're an American patriot. All right? More female war criminals.
Dom, Cole, and Baird and tell a masculine story of brotherhood. Well, the progressive woke mob somehow got to Gears of War, and Gears 4 and 5 are about sisterhood, motherhood, being a traitor, and what it feels like to be a woman.
Yeah, so like that's a story that like I don't really give a shit that much about that, because like I can't really relate to that, and I don't really care. Like, I want to play as like Marcus or Dom or Coltrane and kill these dudes. Right? Like, that's what I want to do. That's it. Yeah, like that's the whole thing. Like, that's, yeah, and it does.
I'm sorry. First of all, if you can't relate at all, that's like a you problem, dude. I was able to play a lot of games and I was able to relate just fine. Okay? I was able to play fucking Resident Evil 5 and be like, you know, I really am just like Chris Redfield. He's really just like me. We're one and the same, man. We're basically the same person. If you can't do that because it's a woman, dude, like, that's tough. Whew. Zoinks, Scoob. Damn, Jesus. Most games have combat. I guess they're all for men, so what's the issue? LOL. I don't understand. Denims also tackles boulders. Yeah, I also have quick time events where I have to punch boulders into lava. It's true. It's true. It happens on a daily basis, actually. Because he's just like me, for real. Saying, oh, then okay, it's not for you. It's not for you. Grow up, man. All right. I'm sorry things change. I'm sorry, okay? Sometimes things get worse. Sometimes things change and they are now for different people. That's sort of how life is, man. I'm sorry you got to find out this way, but hey, I provide free life lessons from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. every day, except for Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I'm here all week, okay, dude? Asmongold colors and shapes only, please.
Matter, by the way. It absolutely does matter. Let the market decide. They did. The player base is 99% males. To be fair, the brother thing was tiring, Really? Oh wow. It's so tiring. No, it's not. How many fucking what do you call it? What's the game? Or the move?
It's really funny talking. Or sorry, it's really funny listening to guys who can't change a tire talk about masculinity. Dude, sometimes I think about the fact that, like, if I put my dad and one of these dudes in a room, my dad would beat the shit out of him. My dad would be like, you are, like, actually so gay. Let's fight. And then he would just take him like a pencil and just crush him. It's like, not only is your view of masculinity something that has changed and is now new, it is a new version of masculinity. It's also a version of masculinity that you don't yourself adhere to and that other men before you would say is not real masculinity. I can relate to a complete fantasy war hero as a toothpick who's never left his room, but a woman.
Movie Fast and Furious. How many of them have they made? 100. They'll say that's misogynistic. Oh, to a certain degree, I'm sure it is. But at the end of the day, if you're a guy, it's going to be easier for you to relate to a guy. You're going to understand a guy's struggles more. You're going to be able to, like just identify with them much more. That's just the way it is. Family. Yeah, exactly. The topic of brotherhood of men fighting together goes back a millennia. Yeah, bro, like these people, they think like, yeah, we made 3 video games. So like, you know, that story of like the Odyssey and like all those, yeah, bro, it was played out. No, it wasn't. It's never going to be played out. Keep doing it. Only a millennia. Yeah, it's been like this forever.
Introduced the character of Kate Diaz, who I don't think anybody gives a single fuck about. What they should have done is put Kate in a spin-off game, not a mainline Gears entry. But here's the problem, of course. Nobody would have bought it.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, Gears 4 and 5 are basically...
Isn't that just because spin-offs in general don't do very well relative to the main storyline games? It's pretty rare that spin-offs do pretty well.
Girl boss, feminist, Gears of War.
The last one I played was 3.
Any masculine story about men is put on the back burner.
I barely even played 3. I played
Of course, the games include Baird and Marcus in them, but they're really on the back burner. And Gears is now about Kate Diaz, who I've never talked to a Gears fan even cares about. Yeah. Moving on, example number 4,
World
the
of Warcraft,
Saints Row
please.
reboot.
Oh, no.
Saints Row spent 10 years building up characters.
It's like, I'm sorry, but if you have a guy right here...
I'm sorry, I'm not the best person to talk to about Saints Row because I played, I think, Saints Row 3 and I played Saints Row 4. And I thought... I thought the whole alien storyline and like the fact that you didn't have to drive around in some stupid ass car and you could jump around was very fun. All right. I don't know if I would call it a good game, but I had fun. I feel like if you want to play Saints Row, just go play GTA. If you want Saints Row to be what you think Saints Row should be, just go play GTA. The superhero one was like pretty fun. I don't know. I thought it was like an interesting, unique, like writing of a, I don't know what this genre of game is really classified as, but a GTA style game. I thought it was fun. I thought it was like a different type of game. It's not taking itself seriously is the thing. And you can't take a game that doesn't take itself seriously. I didn't play 5, I don't think.
This looking like Constantine or like this guy who he's sitting in a fucking like a king chair, like he's Scarface with sunglasses on, you know, saluting in a fucking suit. You want to know who looks at a cover of a game like this and buys it? I'll tell you who. A 15-year-old guy.
He's so close to understanding that men get pandered to like crazy all the time. They just don't notice it because it's happening to them. And the second they see any marketing that's towards anyone that isn't them, they're like, oh, you're pandering. It's like, yeah, we're doing what we did to you for decades to some other people. What's the problem? Oh, you think we give a fuck about you? No, dude, we only care about your money. And here's the thing, marketing to women as well, we lose some of the losers who are like, no, it's gotta be for me. Blah, blah. But overall, most normal men still keep buying our games, and now women also buy our games. So yeah, we don't give a fuck if you loser ass don't buy our game because you think it's woke. You see the fat stacks we got? Yeah. Yeah.
They see this right here. They see that right there. A 15-year-old guy. And by the way, 35-year-old guys, in a lot of cases, are still 15-year-old guys. They see, oh, it's badass. Yeah, for sure. It's not like it's that much different.
Building up a very distinctive and edgy and male sense of humor.
Absolutely.
It's the kind of stuff you and the guys would laugh at.
Yeah.
Some of the recurring characters in Saints Row are Johnny Gat, Julius, Aisha, Shondi, and several others. In these games, the men are men and the women are women. Johnny is edgy and hilarious.
So if I can explain something really quickly, this is something that I'm genuinely shocked, I guess, that more people don't understand this concept because it seems very obvious now, but I obviously had to have learned it at one point. Everything that we think is this, there's a lot of things in society and in culture that we feel is immovable and that we feel is static because it's been like that for our whole life. And we feel so strongly about it, which means it must be real in some tangible way. The problem is that it's fake. It's fake. Some people might say it's fake and gay. Not me, though, but like some people might say that. A good example is, and I love to use this example because I think most people can understand it really well, but homophobia. I'm not calling Asmongold homophobic just in case there's fucking clip jumpers in here. Fucking idiots. No, I'm pointing at a greater idea. A greater idea, the greater idea in question here is that you feel strongly about things, therefore they must be tangible and real in a way that is not just cultural. So people who are homophobic, maybe there are even people in here who grew up in the South and grew up with conservative family and grew up with homophobes, and you maybe were homophobic for any period of time of your life. It doesn't matter, people change, people grow. But the homophobia is like, it's deeply seated in a lot of these people. Like, these people feel a visceral disgust when they see two men holding hands or kissing. It is not a neutral action that they see. They see it and they feel real visceral disgust. And so they think this feeling is so real and is so strong, it can't be made up. It cannot be that culture invented this. No, this real disgust must be innate in human beings. It must be something that is greater than me. Because something this real cannot be fake. Except it is. That's the problem. It is. All of these things that feel really real aren't necessarily real, actually. And it's the same sort of thing here. You look at these depictions of masculine men and really manly men, and you're like, this is obviously what masculinity looks like. I know it because that's how I feel about it. But the thing is, that feeling is fake. Culture invented that feeling in you. Just like culture could have invented any type of universe where masculinity meant something completely different. I'm sorry that you don't realize it, but if you try, you'll see that these things that you think are innate are not so innate. They're not. Saints Row 2 was one of the first games I remember that you could play an intersex character at a slider for gender body type. Gears of War 5 sales were better than any of the Gears of War sales. Gears of War 4 sales, excuse me. I don't understand how he's saying this game sucked. Our beliefs are shaped by society, which happens to be patriarchal and heteronormative. I mean, I'll break it down even more simple. You see this shit when you grow up, you think that this shit is normal. Anything that changes that has to be not normal. People are, you're creatures of habit. You just are. It's just true. So this is a good example of that type of person, unless they're trolling, but I don't think that they are. Unless this is like epic trolling, in which case, dude, you fucking got me. well, I don't know what this is. You're not a man. Do you know how a man feels about him being a better man? Masculinity is in a man's nature. He will naturally become more masculine as he grows up. Here's the kicker. No. I understand why you feel that way. You feel that way because there's no way a feeling so strong in you can be fake. Unfortunately, no, Omegalol, it's not true. It's just not. History and different cultures have shown this to be true. You can look at 100 different countries and see that the idea of masculinity is very different country to country. So the American idea of masculinity is like guns, really buff, kind of sweaty, kind of gross, likes beer, etc., etc. Go to Italy and act like that and tell me what they think of you. Because I can assure you, they will look at you like a fucking slob. And they're going to be like, real men have some fucking class. Get a fucking suit. Get some fucking tailor. Clean your shit up. That's fucking disgusting. Yeah, you enjoy an espresso, not some disgusting ass fucking watered down coffee. And you want to know what? They drink it a little fruity. They're like, culture today proves that this is wrong, that you are wrong, that there is no innate set of masculine traits that create, sorry, you do not have a penis, grow up, and then become man and become masculinity. Society puts you in that role, and then you fulfill your role like the good little cog that you are. And that's why if you take the most masculine person you can think of, take them out of the country and out of the culture that they're from, put them in any other country or culture, you will find that they will not be accepted. They will not be. I'm a man from Europe. I agree with Denims. Or look at Japan as well. Or even the Romans, who are, by our standards, are epitome of masculinity. We're all kinds of homosexual. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, if you want, and here's the thing, if you do any research into history, you'll find one common question that comes up very often is, why did the Greeks and the Romans make dicks so small? Yo, David, kind of a tiny wiener, I'm not gonna lie. Y'all seen this shit? You wanna know why? Because culture, thousands of years ago, dictated that it was only civilized and sophisticated men that had small weewers. And if you had a large penis, you were obviously a dumb brute. And your only use was to go die in war and let the intellectual men think, since you were incapable of doing so. And you don't have to believe me. Look it up. There's a reason all their marble sculptures have tiny wieners, okay? I didn't sculpt them. I didn't write this shit. You can look it up. We thought for a very long time in Europe that it was unholy and that it was against God's wishes and not masculine to shower. And so, you know, people didn't shower. And then, you know, the plague killed like half of those people because they were also shitting in buckets and throwing them out their fucking windows. Well, technically that one's still true, Denim. No, wiping your ass is still true. You still got to shower though. Wiping your ass is gay. It's true. What if you like it? I mean, let's look at the most simple example. Just if these ideas are too complicated for you, let's go even more simple. Pink used to be a man's color. Heels used to be a man's part of a man's attire. Heels were used to accentuate your calves and make you more attractive as a male. That's why when you look at paintings of all these fucking old fuckers, all these old European fuckers or American fuckers, all right, they were wearing little heels and little powdered wigs and makeup, and they were wearing pink. And that's because all of those things were considered masculine. These ideas that you have about masculinity, as strong as you feel about them, they are fake. You've been convinced that they are real, and you feel that they are real, and you think that going and dying in war is a masculine thing, and wearing a suit is a masculine thing, and sitting in a chair like an epic boss is a masculine thing. Who decided that? We kind of just made it up. We kind of just made it up, and masculinity doesn't actually mean jack shit. You can just do whatever the fuck you want. That's it. It's pretty simple. Classical artists here. Another reason the sculpture is a study of the entire body, and the big dingus distracts from that. The intent is not always sexual. Oh yeah, I think it's like the David. His head is bigger than it's supposed to be. He has the opposite of Hassan's problem. He's got a huge head, not penis-wise, like physically, like the body part that is above your shoulders, because the statue is supposed to look down upon you, and you're supposed to look up at it. And if they make his head normal-sized, then he would have looked like Hassan. Because of how it was going to be displayed, and you would be looking up at David, they decided to make his head bigger because it would make more sense visually. But anywho, so there's nothing you find special about being men? What? Why do we see such big differences in female and male animals? I mean, that's only true of some female and male animals. Also, like, bro, hyenas got penises that are bigger than the female hyenas. They got penises that are bigger than the male hyenas. Y'all know about this? The female lions, they literally do all the hunting. They said, sit your ass down. Keep that sperm nice and warm for later. I'm gonna go get us some dinner. All right? I'm sorry, dude. That's just reality, man. That's just real, dude. Just real. And you don't gotta believe me, man. Google is free. You can Google anything that I'm saying, and I assure you, all this shit is online. All of it. And once you are free of this burden of feeling like you need to perform these qualities, you'll enjoy life more. I can assure you. You will. A lot of current American masculine ideas came from Clint Eastwood and Dirty Harry, and he did that on purpose to keep folks from thinking that he was gay after Paint Your Wagon. Nice. Male lions are the stay-at-home dads. There was a cool lion who was a pride's defender for 13 when the average was 4. Pretty cool nature fact. That's pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. Male spiders are smaller. My friend Lana, they have a female black widow, and they found a male black widow, and they scooped him up, and they brought him in the cage. And I didn't know this. I was like, well, how did you know? And they were like, oh, see, the male black widow is very small. I was like, well, how did you know that they were having sex? And they were like, oh, well, you can see them having sex. The little black widow, and then the big black widow, and that's the female. And then, yeah, I was like, oh, really? That's crazy. What about the fish? I forget the name of the fish. The fish that the male fish literally just becomes sperm appendages for the female fish. The female fish is like this big, and the male fish are like this big. The angler. And then it just like combines with the female until it's just like a breathing nutsack, essentially. That's kind of hot. For real, dude. Actually, wait. Actually, hold up. kind of spitting a little bit. Wait. See if I can get a photo for you guys. This was actually this happened because we couldn't find any male anglerfish, and we were really confused why we could never find any male anglerfish. And then we thought, hey, well, let's take a closer look at the female anglerfish, and we saw these little bumps that we thought were random ass parasites. As it would turn out, the little bumps are the males, or what's left of them after they disintegrate, because the female has taken all of their juice, just like divorce court for men. There's an interesting story on it. Let's see here. Suck dry, really, real. So let me read the description. Females are the large ambush predators. Females have the lighted lures, which is the little, you know. Males are very small, 1 inch to 3 centimeters or slash 3 centimeters, and are not predatory. Once they hatch, they spend all of their energies searching for mates, biting onto larger females to fertilize their eggs. In many anglerfishes, the male becomes parasitic and never releases from his mate again, feeding from her blood, becoming little more than a sperm factory. And they like literally merge into them. They're like, here, take my balls. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. It's just crazy, right? Real. So yeah, your ideas about masculinity are fake, man. I'm sorry to tell you, dude. I'm done. Listen to this. W stream Denims. I just will agree to disagree. Never change, dude. Although I don't need to tell you that. You already know to never change. Oh my God, amazing. Isn't it amazing? The cup completely cracks. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, nature is cool. Isn't it sick that you can be anything you want, anyone you want? And all this shit that's telling you, no, you got to do this shit. That's all fake and gay, and you can just do what you want to do. Isn't that fucking sick? How could you see that and be like, no, I got to be masculine man that's big and buff and drinks beer and smokes cigars and never opens up and has any feelings ever. That's what I got to do. It's like, what? Damn, you lame as hell, bro. Shit. Man goal, become a breathing nutsack being taken care of by your woman. I mean, low key, like, if she treats you right, you know, like, honestly, if she treats you right, like, what's the problem? Like, realsies? Oh my God. Can we skip ahead? Let's get to the most replayed section and then let's skip ahead. I want to finish this video and I'm not going to finish it if we're watching it at normal speed.
And this is what you get, guys.
Yeah,
this is what you fuckers get
done.
for supporting these people.
So hot in here.
They turn out shitty games that aren't funny, that aren't cool, that aren't masculine.
That's another big thing. They're not cool and they're not funny. Minus the masculinity. That's something different.
I agree with this take. More games should be funny and cool. And games that are not funny and cool fucking suck. But that's really the only thing there is to it. It's just game that's fun is fun. Game that's not fun is not fun.
They're not cool. That's actually, you know what? The more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking that's the biggest problem. They're not cool. These are people that were losers in high school. They didn't have any fucking friends. And now they go and they write stories about people that are friends, but they don't have any frame of reference for what being friends with somebody is like. So you get...
Okay, actually, this is one of my biggest critiques of, like, anime. Like, why would you create a whole ass universe and then self-insert yourself as the fucking loser you were? I'm down for harem anime, but can you make the main character interesting? Christ. Oh my God. I felt this way. I'm not gonna lie. A friend recommended me to for me to watch Last Man on Earth, and I watched 2 episodes and I was like, 1, this is for white people. I'm not catching a single reference. 2, why would you self-insert yourself as the lame person you were? Cringe, dude.
Shit like this.
Sorry if anyone liked that show.
Not
Sorry.
Cool. They're fucking losers. Boring, antisocial, obnoxious stereotypes. Yeah.
I like how if you unpause at any point in, or like at that point, he could be talking about himself or about someone totally different.
Case solved. Yeah, bro. They're not cool.
So stop hiring these people. Game developers need to stop putting gay stuff in games, and they need to fire every liberal white woman if they want us to ever buy a game again. Because I'm serious, we are
video game companies should engage in discrimination and get sued. Duh.
done with this shit. We're not buying these games. Like Phil Spencer is out here complaining about how people aren't spending as much money on games anymore. Yeah. I guarantee if you give us hetero dudes hot chicks in games again and manly men, you will see sales go through the roof. Bring back the glory days of video games. I have this theory that in a few years, we're going to see a turn back to the golden era of video games. And
we absolutely will, by the way. If you actually think that any of the executives that work at these companies genuinely care about any sort of group of people other than money, you are very sorely mistaken. It's already starting to happen. Yeah, it's already starting to happen.
People are going to start buying games again. I recently saw this crazy chart from 2023 that basically showed that people are only playing old games these days. Nobody wants to play anything that's new out right now because it's all woke and it all sucks so bad. So anyway, guys.
This is also not true. Like, this is literally not true.
Let's all hope there's a return of masculine characters in games again at some point that we can relate to. All right, I'm out.
Yeah, he's right about that. And I've gotten in a lot of trouble over the years of saying that gender is like a huge barrier of relatability that is not overcomable by any sort of real like storytelling. Like, you're not really going to be able to relate to a girl in the same way that you can relate to a guy, because your gender and the way that you grew up as a man or a woman completely shades your entire experience of life. And I think that if you try to ignore that, and that's why, for example,
no,
like
Asmon, you don't want to go down that line because you're actually pushing for more diversity. Don't do it. You got to take it back, man. It's not a good idea. You're pigeonholing yourself into a position you do not want to have. I promise.
On Twitch, very few popular streamers are female. But like on YouTube, there are a lot of popular streamers that are female and content creators. And do you know why? It's because YouTube has a actual like large female audience and Twitch doesn't. You want to know who's most people at Twitch are? Guys. They're mostly guys. And who do guys relate to? They relate to other guys. And you know who the kind of guys they relate to are? The kind of guys that look and act like they do. That's right.
Then you have to admit that you're being pandered to. Then you have to admit that. You can't have it both ways. That's the problem.
And so guess what? Yeah, exactly. It's literally that simple. Society is overestimated how many people are going with the woke stuff. Well, I don't know. I think Arcane's the best example of how woke is not an end all and be all. No, it's not. And I think that it also goes back to what I said about Dion and other characters like that, right? Is that there's the video right there. You can see, like, it's actually crazy. This guy, bro, this guy just said it. Like, every single thing that you're not supposed to say, he used that as a checklist. Like, he just said it exactly. Yeah, bro, he came out swinging. Yeah, this guy's got 1.6 million views. He only has 55,000 subscribers. So that means this video went absolutely fucking crazy in the algorithm. Yeah.
Can't possibly be that the video pandered to a particular audience.
Bro just called the industry gay. Oh my God. You know, in Asia, gamers go with they want cool dudes and hot chicks. Yeah, exactly. Dion was an actual good gay character. Well, that's because it's not about being a good gay character. It's about being a good character. And then being gay is like secondary to that. Because like, that's not the point, right? It's not the point. Oh yeah, but it's gay. Yeah. Okay. Nobody gives a shit. That's not the reason why people care about it. You know, I'd say that's all soy now. Yeah, exactly. And so same as straight. Yeah, that's not it's not the reason why people have an opinion or care about it at all. That's what I think a lot of people don't understand. True, nobody cares. People only care when it's done inauthentically by loser millennials that are boring, insincere, have no sense of creativity, and they can't.
To say, I only want to play this particular type of game with these particular things, and then say other people have no creativity is so funny.
Can't write a good story for shit, and their parents
Beautiful.
were right.
Cinema.
And you can't write a story about how your parents were wrong and have anybody else care about it except you. I'll be right back.
Anyways. Anyways. Hero's already covered, but it's always interesting how non-men are expected to play games with men and enjoy them just fine, but men can't relate to women and can't enjoy it because they don't see women. Yeah, I mean, this is like, sorry to be a theory nerd, but like this, fucking feminists have been covering this shit for ages. Read Second Sex by the homie Simone. It talks about this in great detail. That the female is an alteration of the male, and that the other cannot be true. But it's funny because they can recognize the issues that the suits are ruining things, but the conclusion is just completely wrong. Yes, it just completely cracks. But yeah, more importantly, it's not that men cannot relate to women, it's that men have to be convinced to relate to women. That the default is that we tell men they cannot relate to women, and so they think they cannot relate to women, and so they simply don't relate to women. And you then have to convince them, hey, you can relate to women. Hey, man, check this out. Hey, check this out. It's actually, we're actually all just like people, dog, and you can just kind of do whatever you want, man. We're actually just people. Men are from Venus. No, women are from Venus. Men are from Mars. No, actually, we're just people, man. We're actually just people, man. You're complicating this shit because you're falling for some gay ass propaganda. It's really cringe. It's very cringe. And weird. Weird too. I don't believe you. Fuck. I didn't think about that argument. Shit. I'll have to investigate this. I'll have to investigate this further.